Okay.
Yeah, question from the audience.
Since I saw your presentation, I have to start like some with one which was more relevant to my talk. And so I was talking about how each of us sell our own trade. And to sell our own trade, we generally have to put the dirt on the other one. And that's something that I thought you probably did that in one of the slides. I'm fine with the message that you gave, but not with the reasons behind why we should do that. So can you substantiate your claims on air contamination by incinerators and toxic ash from incinerators? Can you substantiate those? Provide some sources, something? Why? Because you put them on the slide. And also compare that with burning that might happen because of waste figures.
Ranjit, your question is to him or to Martin? So Martin is on line, so should we keep him waiting or should we thank him and...
I have some questions to Martin.
Yeah, please then.
Okay.
You put questions to Mr. Martin first, so that...
I don't have any for Martin.
I have for Martin.
Please. Yeah, I think you'll have to go there and ask him.
There, should I ask?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
I would like to ask you, as someone who supports waste to energy, in which situation would you consider waste to energy unviable for India?
I think the unviable, certain discussions have to do with the calorific value of the waste. I myself have been in India several times, including waste collection stations and seeing the waste, having insight to many waste analysis. So from the basis, the calorific value and the composition of the waste is not adverse to, or is not an implication which would make waste to energy impossible. What I feel is that there are concepts which can cope with the cost, which means we need, so to say, Indianized concept. We cannot just take European concepts and apply them to India. That is what we are currently doing with the projects I had mentioned before. So one aspect is the cost aspect. If we would just try to use standard European technology, that will not work from a cost perspective. From the perspective of calorific value, we have to change concepts in the sense of the design of great design of the combustion chamber. And the failures I've seen so far have just been due to the absence of knowledge how to treat low calorific waste. So I think these are the two main obstacles which there are solutions for. The one is cost, the other is calorific value. And the third point, I think it would be wrong to just say we should treat all waste with waste to energy plants. I think we need, as I mentioned during my presentation, we need source segregation. We need to, for example, compost biofractions as far as the compost can be used. And then the non-recyclable waste should be treated by waste to energy.
We
I
have
hope
another
that
question.
clarifies your question.
Hi, Martin. Thank you for your interesting presentation. I have 4 questions, if I can. So the first one is on if you can give us the waste composition in Switzerland. So you said that 30% is recycled, the material is recycled, and 50% is burned in the waste to energy plant. So that means that partly you are burning recyclables and organic material. That's the first question. Second question is, can you give us the average cost for the plants that you have shown us? And I mean both the setup cost and the running average annual running cost. and whether you think that would be feasible in India. And the third question is on monitoring. So can you give us some details about the monitoring agencies in Switzerland or any other countries you have shown? So is the monitoring done by the private company itself that is running the plant, or is the monitoring done by public and independent agencies? And then the last question is, the ash that gets out of the waste-to-energy plant, does it go to a normal landfill for municipal solid waste, or does it have to go for a landfill of special waste? Thank you.
Okay.
Martin, we
So,
had.
the first,
sorry to interrupt
on,
you. We
on your
just.
first question, waste composition.
Martin, can you hear me? Excuse me.
Yes.
Since there were multiple questions, there are some questions which look like a direct information which you could possibly guess and get it through email. I think the last two questions were something which we need to get your response on.
You only want the last of these three questions? Sorry, for the three questions or the four questions, you only want an answer.
Yeah,
on the
maybe
last
you can go quickly because we are running behind schedule in the session.
Okay. I'll just give you very, very short questions. In Switzerland, paper, cardboard, bio-waste, metals, glass is collected. So there is a high percentage of plastics and non-recyclable bio-waste. The average cost, the running cost of a European plant, which I mentioned to you is not viable, is approximately 50 euros per ton of treated waste. However, the Indianized concept which I mentioned is clear that they have to be able to run basically on the sales of energy, and there the break-even would be on the level of, I would assume, something like 15 US cents per kilowatt hour. Monitoring, there is continuous online monitoring. In some countries this is directly transferred to the government. In Switzerland this is not the case. There is a continuous emission monitoring, but there is once a year an official independent emission measurement. And the last point, the ash is sent to the bottom ash is sent to a normal landfill for municipal solid waste. Sometimes in some countries bottom ash is also used for road construction. It's actually only in Switzerland where it goes to landfill. In all other countries it's used for construction purposes. I hope this answers your question.
Thank you very much, and
Okay.
thanks for coming at this late hour. Thank you.
Thank you very much and have a nice
Dr.
conference.
Kulkarni, you can continue.
Yeah, Ranjit, you had some question for him.
Yes? Okay, perfect. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Okay, fine, thanks.
Bye.
Any specific questions for Yalini or Federi if they're there? Yeah, please.
So the question I had is, people are, the title of the slide was, if you can show it, people are concerned. So that my point on that question, on that slide was, no, the point of my slide was, as my presentation was not dealing with environmental facts, I was focused on waste pickers. So I just said, people are concerned about this issue, and as answers should be given. I think CPCB has done a report last year which was interesting, and I think it's a pity, in fact, that Jindal Ecopolis has not come to this venue to explain what is going on in Okla right now, in the Okla Timarpur plant, which I think it would be interesting to know the details of how they are running, whether it is working properly or not, whether they are facing any problem, or it is a great success, as it was claimed in the first days. So I'm not saying that I don't have the proofs. I have not done any studies or any specific incinerator, or in general. You know, scientifically there is a debate. It always depends. It always, one thing is the technology. So, if I can just give you the answer, then you can reply. I don't mind. You know that one thing is the technology and the theory, which I'm fine, I'm totally fine. I'm not biased against any type of technology. The other thing is the implementation. So it depends where you are, who is monitoring, how is it doing. So I was a little bit surprised, or at least curious to know the details of what our colleague from Hitachi presented the other day, saying that the price in Europe is 40 crores for the technology per megawatt, and here the price is 12 crores per megawatt. I imagine there is a difference in the labor cost, but my question would be, is there any other differences in the safety precautions that are taken? I don't know. My slide was just, people are concerned, so he can probably intervene also. So my point was just, you know, they are concerned, so we can give an answer, but the issue is not only the technology in itself, but where you implement it and how you implement it. Thank you.
Hello. Well, since you mentioned my information given from yesterday, I think yesterday I explained quite in detail how we reach these costs here in India. So you cannot compare European technology with Indian technology one-to-one. But with regards to safety and environment, I was very clear that there is no compromises there. So process technology, safety, and emissions, that is untouched. We reduce in civil, that is the main part where we reduce costs, and we reduce in other things which are not needed for the process. And just one comment from my side, please, when you use the term Europe, be precise, because what you said refers maybe to Spain, but not to Europe as a whole. I wouldn't say that in Europe it is the frontier to collect the garbage at the source, or to segregate at the source, as you have mentioned. Maybe in Southern Europe this is now happening, being started, but in Northern Europe we are doing that since 25 years already. The same applies for the financial viability. There is a big crisis in Spain. In Northern Europe, we're still doing very fine when it comes to financing our projects. Thank you.
Sir, my submission is, you have mentioned that incineration is a 50 years old technology. I want to add my correction. It is not 15 years, it is 100 years old technology. First thing is. And the place at which you belongs to, Barcelona, my plant is working, it commissioned in the year 2009, and one of the reference plant which we climb today also, in the Barcelona, Spain.
I have a question to Mr. Federico. You mentioned one of the good examples you have shown is Taiwan. I want to know what context you have shown, because Taiwan is perhaps world's city country which has highest density of incinerators in the world, which are 29 today and one under construction.
So, Mr. Sastry, I'm sorry to interrupt. You are one of the panelists just after this session. So why don't we take some of these issues which are very important issues?
But in any case, one question to him, and the second thing is, Madam Pooja Madam, I just wanted to understand on what basis the statement is made that the waste pickers are deprived of their earnings because of the waste to energy plants. It has not been substantiated. It is a statement that has been made.
Yes,
I think whenever sentimental statements are made by a scientist or an activist, we should not take it by word like a lawyer. We should take it in a healthy spirit, and we should not debate on it unless it is going to add some knowledge to the whole thing.
Yeah, I think the discourse cannot be let like that. The discourse must be substantiated by certain things.
I think okay,
The discourse requires certain statement of facts.
Yes, absolutely. If you go on the Chintan website, sir, there is a recent study we've done called Give Back Our Waste, and it shows with a baseline survey that was done 2 years ago and a survey that was done just a few months ago that about 300 waste pickers have been displaced completely by this waste to energy plant in Okla, and that the remaining 150 persons have had to take their children out of school. Their levels of nutrition have come down in just these last few months. So if you want hard facts, please, they're available in the public domain.
So, Madam, in order to protect the interest of 300 waste pickers, Definitely it is the responsibility, social responsibility of everybody. One should protect. State has the responsibility. At the same time, for the sake of 300 people, we cannot live in the dump sites.
Okay, Rao Saab, these are the topics for panel discussion, so we really sincerely request that, we discuss this. These are some of the topics of our panel discussion. Kanisa, if you say we can, if you have last words.
Speakers as well as discussion, because last 2 days I'm observing that everybody is so enthusiastic that even if we have another 2 days, discussions can continue, because all of us jointly want to find out some solution for the problem which is faced by everybody here. Thank you. We'll continue discussing. Now, the same techniques are available to us. Thank you very much.
In fact, during lunchtime, someone said that the next program of WTRT should be for a week, and 2 weeks rather, and 1 week would be allocated to some speakers who speak too much. That was the whole idea. In a lighter vein, that's how it is. Thank you very much. We'll get on to the panel discussion. Dr. Kulkarni, please stay here.